The executive producer of Soundscapes is Andrew Phillips. My name is Peter Schmittig, and tonight I'm here with Copernicus, who's going to take it from here.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Copernicus. We are doing here now the part 2 of our discussion concerning reality and should we care about reality. Tonight we're going to divide this program into 3 sections. Our first section is going to discuss the prevailing Western view of reality. What do people, how does the West see reality? The part 2, we're going to discuss Copernicus's, that's my thoughts on reality and how it differs from the prevailing Western view. And on the third section, we're going to ask and explore is our basic present religions adequate for taking humanity into the 20th century? The phones are open, and after we're going to start this program by playing a piece called Ra from my 4th album, Null, and then we're going to get into it. We're expecting the public to participate. The phones will be open as soon as the music ends, and I'm here with Reverend Finley Schaef from the Park Slope Methodist Church, and also with Peter Schmittig, who is our resident engineer. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, Ra.
I'm not the resident engineer, I'm the sound test.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm sorry. I'll correct that. 27934. You do more than that.
Well, yeah, but that's okay. No, don't worry about it. I don't care.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. Don't worry about it. Let me know whether you want to come in over this.
I never like to do that.
You never like to sign. Okay.
The streets and the walls of the stars. Horace walks into the dream, building the ideas on the walls of Nevermore as the Nile crisscrosses into the dream. And the Diet Coke cracks into the songs of baptism, and original sin, and last judgment, and sin, and eternal life, and heaven, and hell, and virgin birth. One God, the Trinity, killing of Abel by Cain, the crucifix, immortality of the soul, all on the walls of ancient Egypt. All on the walls of ancient Egypt.
How to get into this?
Architecture word for that. Architecture word for that. Ancient pharaohs used to try to prove to their people that they were born a virgin. Isis is the mother of Jennifer, the virgin. Osiris is the king of
Dark is the Nile crosses to the Sahara. And the beat-down dreams of all the kisses crisscross and time. And the screams of the night kisses the sounds. And this walks into Sakara. Sakara kisses all the turns of the night. And Ramses builds Abu Simbel. Abu Simbel doing all the kisses of the night. Streaming where the dreams can no longer see. Confronting your civilized kiss. All of the poems of the madness. All of the dreams of the lovers. All the kisses. All the beats. All the madness. All the force. Building and joining in Lower Egypt. Building and joining in Lower Egypt. And the Saga. Building and seeing and confronting truth. And having the power to express it in these fantastic pyramids. Get up songs into its own dream. Passion all into its own life. Rocking down to the desert of truth. Into the cryptic sounds of life. Melt into the song. Crying in the tears of the rounding kisses. And the bed songs lie down deep slowly. Eating the fired kiss. Walking into the magic of the mind. Walking into the first songs of primitive lords. Blood into the soul. They made us. We are there. They are there. We are there. We are there. Song into its dream. Beat. Tone into its own kiss. Get up. Song with the beat changes. Tone. Song.
Well, you have that queued up, right?
I have Atomic Never Walking.
Mabasi, Darasi, Bitty, Nasa, take me now. Take me where I can see. Take me where the dreams kiss all my memories. Take me as I bow my head and look into their eyes and look into their souls and feel them walking. Cover me into luxury Come then, son. Come, son, to me. I'll sit now. Come, touch it. Come, see. Come, see now. Baptize me with the virgin birth of nevermore. Sing on to the old kiss where the beat songs wash. Take me down to the river and wash my soul into my blood. And let the kisses roll into the maddening kiss of no time. With a man's kiss, tired darkness. Don't let me cry now. Don't let me eat the soul of my ear. Don't let me forget all the kisses. Don't let me turn all the souls of my ears. I touch you. Touch me now. Now and then. Now in the beginning.
I'm not sure. I get this as, yeah, I see this as a lot of reflection and part two into that, but I may do that ahead of time and see how it goes. Yeah, so it's this. It's just signal when you have full.
Get the number out, what do we get out of here? Get the number out, what do we get out of here?
I love you so much, I can't tell you. Let me say, I did right. Love you so much. I'm with you, and you live with me, and we are not here. We are not here. We were never here. We were never here. We were never here. You were never here. You were never
You will never hear. Soon. There is no place. We were never here. You were never here. You were never here. You were never here. You were never here.
About 10 seconds.
We're back. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to give you our phone number here at WBAI, 212-279-3400. The phones are now open. I'd like to make a little correction here. Peter Schmidegg is not our resident engineer. He is the producer of Soundscapes.
Well, not quite. I help Andrew Phillips out.
He's the executive producer. But
No. Andrew Phillips is the executive producer.
Okay.
I help him out on it.
All right. Reverend Schaef is here. And Reverend Schaef, how are you tonight? I'm glad to see you here back again.
I'd like to say I'm glad to be here, but this agenda you have is quite awesome and unnerving. Let's get into it.
Okay, are you an ancient Egyptian? Do you
No,
consider yourself a
I've
descendant of an ancient
Of course
Egyptian?
not. My roots are in Europe.
Well, I mean, Copernicus just finished saying that he saw all. You're a preacher, a Protestant Christian preacher, and Copernicus just saw everything that you stand for on the walls of ancient Egypt.
Well, I find your singing, if we could call it that, intriguing and exciting, and the music as well, and very challenging. There's something extraordinarily challenging about it. Makes you. It's unsettling.
But do you see the connections? Your connections to ancient Egypt. This is your mind formed. You didn't.
No, I don't see it at all.
Oh.
But I'm not an Egyptologist. You were there. I wasn't.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened. That's what we find in ancient Egypt.
That it's all there in Egypt. All Christianity is there. This is new.
Baptism, original sin, last judgment, heaven, hell, immortality of the soul, virgin birth, one God, the Trinity. All of this is on the crucifix itself. You could still find on the walls of ancient Egypt. This is basic fact. It's unfortunate that in the 8th century Egypt became Muslim, and then so the Christians fighting with the Muslims forgot about where their true origins were.
Do you remember what kind of a crucifix was down there?
It's the symbol of life.
A human being hanging on a cross, that kind of a
No.
crucifix?
It's the symbol of Egypt, the symbol of good life.
Okay.
It's a round circle with the crucifix.
You see, the Christian crucifix is entirely different. It's a protest against injustice, the kind of injustices. That
Yes, well, they take symbols and they use them for different things, but these things are definitely out there. I'd like to get on to one, since we're going to be using this word reality a lot, would you like to answer this question? What is reality?
Well, you have to start with...
What is your definition of reality?
Reality is not apparent. It's not something that you experience with your senses. It's not obvious. It's hidden. It's something you have to dig to get to. To ask 10 people that question, you'll get 10 different answers because it's something that you grope for. Jesus had a wonderful parable about a lady who dug in the ground and found some pearls of great value, and she went and sold everything she had to buy the land so she could have those pearls. Meaning, you have to dig into the earth to find reality. It's not on the surface. It's the surface. Our surface lives are ephemeral and transient. Passing.
But
reality is deep.
Would you say there is a difference between a reality and absolute reality?
Absolute reality is simply saying, well, when you go deeper and deeper, looking into reality, into the unconscious, into the cosmos, you find finally absolute reality, which is eternal.
Which does not change.
It's not in time or space.
Which does not change.
All time and all space.
But which does not change. In other words, the absolute reality is something which will never change, ever. Is that right?
I don't think that necessarily follows. I think absolute...
Well, what does the word absolute mean?
Well,
we
yeah,
have to get
I
our
know.
words straight here, because then nobody knows what we're talking about. I think there's a difference between reality and absolute reality. Reality means, let's talk about, Copernicus talks a lot about the reality of the senses. He's always talking about humanity defining reality with its senses. So I would say that is one reality, the reality that you perceive with your human senses, okay? Let's talk about another reality. If you had a microscope on your eyes and looked at my face right now, you would see all the bacteria crawling, all the animals crawling all over my body. So you might say the microscopic world is another reality, something you cannot see with your human eyes. Wouldn't you call that like another reality? And then let's say about the atomic world. Now you couldn't see with your microscopic eyes, you couldn't see the atomic world. You'd have to put on electron microscope eyes, and then you'd see the atomic. Wouldn't you say that was another reality? And ad infinitum, you'd find there are many, perhaps millions of realities. Okay, there are different levels and different kinds of realities. The reality that we're concerned with in this program is the absolute reality. It's the principle that our scientists are searching for. One theory that explains everything, and that's what we're talking about: the absolute reality. Okay, so have we made a difference?
Is that the ground of all these levels of reality?
Well, the absolute reality theoretically doesn't ever change and explains everything.
The God, is that God? The absolute reality.
Well, you're bringing another word, and you start bringing these words, and you have to explain them.
Well,
what do you mean by God? You used it. What is it?
Well, God is the creator of all reality, these levels of reality.
Oh, God is the creator of all of these realities. Is he like a separate being up there?
He's the being which encompasses all existence.
But is this a separate being? Is he separate?
No, it's the ground. Just like a million different flowers grow out of the earth. The earth is the ground of all of these flowers and the creator of all of these flowers. Is this God a separate God that you're talking about? Is he up there in the heaven? I just said the ground.
The ground is God. Everything is God that produces. So this is pantheism.
The ground
is what you're
of all
about.
being. Yes.
This is pantheism. Everything is God.
No, not everything is
Certainly
God.
not Christianity. But be careful now, because we have a pile of wood outside. We have a pile of wood outside for any Christian heritage.
That you hang people on.
Our phone number is here as 212-279-3400. So
the absolute reality is that which brings into being all of these levels of reality that are our experience. It's the Creator's good word for it.
Yeah, but can you explain this Creator? Because what we're doing basically now here is trying to define the Western world's definition of reality. We want to see what they... And you're sort of doing it. And you're talking... I want to know who this God is that you're talking about.
Monotheism is that very definitely important part of Western civilization. It's shared by all the great religions.
And this God is a separate being.
The one
up in
God
heaven, right?
who is eternal beyond time.
And he's in heaven, right?
No, not in heaven. Heaven
Where
is
is he?
not a place that.
Where is she?
Like, you know.
He or she? Where are they?
Neither male nor female, but both, if you insist on using those terms. Not aware in one place as opposed to other places. The ground of all being, everywhere.
Where is
All
this God?
places.
Where is it?
Nowhere. There is nowhere. This God is everywhere.
This is pantheism. This is not Christianity. This is not Christianity.
It's not the Christianity that you grew up when you were an altar boy in South Jamaica. No.
I told him the story of my life. Now he's telling my history. Go ahead.
No, it's not that Christianity.
What Christianity is this? Is this the new Christianity?
This is not Christianity.
You may be converting me here tonight. Go ahead.
Across the sacristy for.
Well, all right. Is this revolutionary Christianity you're saying? But what I'm interested in
is traditional theology.
Well, traditional theology is God is in heaven. The earth is. I'm having trouble with this because you're not telling me about the God that I was taught.
Look,
that there is a God in heaven.
God is somewhere like God in heaven. Yeah, that's a story.
God is in heaven.
That helps you to understand.
Excuse me. Does God know the name of Reverend Finley Schaef? Does God know Reverend Finley Schaef?
Yes.
As an individual?
Of course.
Okay,
Everything.
so this is, now you're getting back in line. So God knows Reverend Finley Schaef,
Yes,
great. And if Reverend Finley Schaef is bad, and when he dies, where does he go? Will he go to hell if he does enough bad things?
Yes, that's
he
right.
will go to hell.
Well, no, there's a heaven and there's a
hell.
And there's an in-between.
And there's a purgatory, and yes.
And where you suffer in a redemptive way so that you become good.
Okay, so
And then when you become good, you go to heaven.
Very good. So then we have basically defined, and this is the interpretation of reality. I mean, you have a smile on your face. Is this a story, or why are you smiling? This is reality. This is absolute reality.
People to understand the meaning of life and the.
Well, is it a story or is it the truth?
It's a story.
It's
All
a story.
Truth is story.
So do you have any truth?
Truth is story. How do you express truth? You can express it in like principles, rational ideas. But the word, one of the fallacies of Western civilization, that ideas are what motivate people. I think you think that.
I think that.
You think that.
I very much disagree with you about trying to
ideas
find truth with
motivate
your
people
heart.
about 3 or 4%, and other things like lust or power.
You're unnerving me, Reverend Schaef.
Motivate people. Do you think that people, when they put those yellow ribbons around trees in the war against Iraq, do you think they did that because they sat around and had discussions about whether the war was right or wrong, and then they said, yeah, they agreed after much debate.
Did you ever meet someone who believed in hell?
And they hung yellow ribbons around the trees.
Did you ever meet someone who actually believed in hell?
Actually meet a live human being? I don't remember.
Well, I was in
did.
Crete,
No,
in
I
Greece.
don't
All right,
remember. I
if you
did.
want to go ever see real paintings of hell, you go to the Museum of Athens, 5th century paintings, Greek paintings of hell. And you won't want to go there. Well, I was living in Crete, and I used to travel into the little town, and there I was like the star of this little town, this big guy in the little scooter, and the Greek priest would come out. I'd go to taverna, play tavoli, and drink ouzo, and had a great time. And I communicated to the waitress that when I die, I was going in Greek, that when I die, I was going to go to hell. And the whole place went silent.
Who said that?
I said it,
Oh.
but in a joking way. And they used to call me Yorgos, and she said, Yorgos, tu ini poli kalo, you're very good, you will not go to hell. They really believed in hell. Now, you're a very liberal person, and you're very out there, very far out. And you are not representative of the majority of people, I think, who believe that there is a God up there in heaven who knows your name. If you're bad, you're going to this horrible place called hell. If you're good, you're going to go up there with heaven. Listen, my priest, my Catholic priest that watch this story, he came to my house one time, and when I was a little kid, I rose up with him and everything else. And I got into this deep conversation with him, and he believed in heaven, that he had sacrificed, this Catholic priest, he had sacrificed his entire life. All of the he had no sex. He worked hard. He gave himself to the community. And he had sacrificed all of this, and he was guaranteed to go to heaven. And he believed that. So whether you believe, I'm wondering what you are. Now, you're a
Well-
pantheist. So I'm here basically trying to establish the Western world's vision of reality. And would you say that your thoughts are a little farther to the left of general thinking?
General who?